Research has shown that college age students in the US may spend an average of 8 to 10 hours per day on a smartphone. 8 to 10 hours, I mean, how many times have you caught yourself doing this? I bet too many to count. I catch myself scrolling mindlessly throughout the day, every single day. Now, let's detach ourselves and look at this from the outside in. Why do we scroll so much? What is the objective that we're trying to get at, that we're trying to achieve? What is the end goal? When I ask myself this question, the answer is that I don't know. Probably because there isn't any goal, there isn't any objective behind scrolling. It's a mindless activity. I ask because I find myself constantly running out of time to do the things that I want to do. And then when I look at my screen time, I've got an average of around 3 hours on weekdays and 5 hours on the weekend, and that's a huge amount of time. So to anybody that says that, oh, I don't have time to do A, B, or C, I suggest you look at your screen time, and I think you'll find the answers to where your time actually gets spent. Now I've got my phone here. Let's break down my own screen time. Let's look at a Wednesday. It's a typical work day. So I've got around 3 hours and 10 minutes of screen time, 42 minutes to YouTube, 30 minutes to Gmail, Instagram about 30 minutes, and reading about 15 minutes. I read on my phone as well. Around 45 minutes of my day has gone to watching YouTube. Now this is a typical weekday and I sleep pretty early, so I don't really spend a lot of time on my phone, yet my screen time is 3 hours 10 minutes. Now let's look at a typical weekend. We've got 5 hours and 3 minutes. Okay, and YouTube is 2 hours, almost 2 hours spent on a Thursday night on YouTube. I mean, 2 hours on YouTube is I think it's a lot. Even Instagram, I guess 30 minutes is okay, but I can bring it down. You can see that these are little times that end up adding to a huge chunk of time that if was available to me otherwise, I would have been able to do so many more things. I would have been able to make more videos, I would have been able to read more or something like that. You know what I mean? Let's work out the solution, right? So I know what doesn't work. Deleting the apps, it doesn't work, because what are you going to do? It's impractical. Are you going to get off these apps and never get on them again? I mean, social media nowadays is so integrated into our daily lives that at some point or the other, you've got to get on these apps. And even if you delete them, I mean, how much time does it take to download them again? Like a minute? You just go boop, and then your password, blah 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 blah, and you're back on Instagram, you're back on YouTube. So deleting it is not a solution. It's like putting a blindfold to your eyes and say, oh, I don't see it, so the problem is solved. I mean, the problem still remains. You're just not seeing it anymore. Here's what I think is going to work. Number one, you turn the notifications off, right? I've done that for Instagram, for YouTube. Has already started working. Pretty good. One thing that gets you to look at your phone are the notifications. Every time the screen lights up, you look at it and you're like, oh, okay, let me check. And we all know it's not always that one message that you're checking. You check that message, and then you go on your feed and you start scrolling, and that 5 minutes turns into 15, 20, 30, and in extreme cases turns into hours. Turn off your notifications. That's what I've done. Number two would be to be conscious of your scrolling. So whenever you catch yourself scrolling mindlessly, just keep your phone away for like a minute, reset, and then get back on. Remember what you're trying to do or what you would rather be doing than scrolling. So those are the two things. I think they work pretty well, and I suggest you do it too. And look at your screen time. I say look at your screen time right now. Let me know what it is. But then again, the question remains, why do we scroll? Right? I guess it's because we want to suppress boredom. Whenever we get bored, we just want to fidget or do something. And I guess scrolling is one of those activities that you can just do mindlessly. You really don't have to put any thought, and you won't really get bored because there's always something stimulating your brain. It might be a newer post, a YouTube video, and then you know how YouTube works. You see one video on a topic and you get like 100 suggestions on it right after. So you keep going into that rabbit hole, keep exploring, and then you've spent like hours on the app. And I mean, that's the intention of these apps. I mean, you can't say that this is something out of the ordinary. That's how they were designed, and that's it's just doing its job. And it's your responsibility, my responsibility, to hold ourselves back and only allow ourselves over there up to a certain limit is what I mean. I believe it's important to sit and do nothing and to be with your thoughts alone for some time, because your brain needs to know that you can think. I'm just reading right now. Research has shown that college age students in the US may spend an average of 8 to 10 hours per day on a smartphone. 8 to 10 hours, I mean, Suppose you sleep 8 hours, okay, which I know college students aren't sleeping. I mean, most people aren't sleeping 8 to 10 hours a day, right? Suppose you're sleeping 8 hours in the ideal situation. So you've got 16 hours left in your day. Now you spend 10 hours, 8 to 10 hours on your phone. Now you've got 6 hours left. In that you add eating, taking a nap during the day or something like that, going to the washroom, just general day-to-day activities, and say you've got 4 hours left. I mean, your whole day is gone. What time do you have? When are you going to work? I mean, but anyway, these were my tips to make you stop scrolling. So do these, and hopefully your screen time should reduce. You should have more time in your hands. All of us have so much potential to do so many things, and we're capable of learning so many things and applying ourselves, building things, building projects, and really that's where true fulfillment and true happiness is found. And for that you need time, and you can't be spending time. You can't be spending your bandwidth, I would like to say, in things that really do not matter. For example, scrolling or a 10-hour screen time. Imagine having 10 more hours available during your day because you're not scrolling. So yeah, you can do so much, right? So if you're running out of time, look at your screen time, and hopefully that's where the problem is, and we can rectify it, and you can have some of your time back and do the things that you like doing and explore more. So yeah, that was it, and that's what I wanted to say, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, and yeah, see you next week.